fucking lie. It's sold out at Life Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. The Eagles have always sucked. The Eagles suck today. The Eagles are going to suck tomorrow. And the Eagles will always suck. The Eagles suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there? Anybody going to spend any time with me here this evening? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate you guys. Rock. Or anybody spends any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I always try to do. Anybody got anything to say, just feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I always check on the chat box like every 5-10 minutes or so. So, I mean, anything gets put in there, I usually check on and, always respond to it. As soon as I see something, I always try to respond to it. All right? So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. Description box below is a top link. It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership offers. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a Giants helmet. They're pretty cool. And the older the helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get a leather helmet, man, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. And it would mean the absolute world to me. There's also, as of right now, there's 4 emojis. Eventually, there'll be a 5th emoji coming out. All right. But the emojis you can use them, I guess in a chat box, or if you're making a comment. I had them made up on Fiverr. Every time I look at it, I get a kick out, and they're pretty cool. I said eventually there'll be a 5th one coming out, but right now there's 4 of them. So anybody who wants to help support my channel would mean the absolute world to me. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out or whatever, you'll be notified. I just went over the 4,900 subscriber mark. I'm at right now, I'm at 4,910. I started the day. 4,880. So I've gone up 30 subscribers today, right? With the end of the season and with the playoffs and all that, I've been going up 30, 40, 50 subscribers a day. Now, obviously, there's probably a good chance once the season's over with and, the attention, a lot of attention comes off of the Giants and, maybe not as people are much watching. Well, I guess maybe my subscriber count might go down per day, But, I mean, right now, I'm doing really, really well. Hopefully, by the end of the weekend, I'll be close to 5,000 subscribers, which I never thought I'd imagine in forever that I would have gotten to 5,000 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. Help me get to my goal of 5,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me. It's crazy. I didn't realize I'd ever get up to almost 5,000 subscribers. Whew. Also, one last thing. In the description box below, there's 2 links. The first one takes you to the 2 Facebook links. Okay. The first one takes you to it's Facebook. It's a group. Okay. The New York Giants group. All right. Right now we have over 2,000 subscribers in there, 2,000 members, shall I say, in the group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Everything I got, there's a YouTube channel, there's a Facebook group and a Facebook page, all called New York Giants, the Gridiron, right? But right now we have over 2,000 members in the group. I'm putting 10, 15 different. It's either a picture or a post or a or video like every day. I'm putting stuff in there every day. And the other thing too is that not only if you become a member, okay, not only am I putting stuff in there as well too, but the members are putting stuff in there as well, right? So it says not only, so there's a ton of stuff going in there. And as I said, you also can, if you become a member, you can put stuff in there as well too, right? So then also there's another link in the description box as well. So, okay, it takes you to my page. Okay, New York Giants, the Gridiron, but it's a page. Okay. As of right now, we got 557 people who like it, and there's over 1,900 people following. All right, so the followers, I'll tell you what, it's going up quite a bit. I mean, every 3, 4, 5 days, I'm going up an additional 100 followers. It's really just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Now, the between the group and the page, okay. Basically, I don't commingle. So basically, it's the same thing with the page. I put 10, 15 different things in there every day, whether it's a post, a picture, a video, whatever. But I don't usually commingle. So whatever I put in the page, I don't put in the group and vice versa. You know what I mean? So if you go to the page, okay, and like it and follow it, and you go to the group and become a member, between the two, you're going to get 20 to 25 or 30 different posts and pictures and videos, all kinds of stuff every day, right? You get a boatload of Giants information every day. And it's always, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, well, all that stuff out of the way. All right, guys, it's time. Let's get down to business here. Got the divisional game, the biggest, obviously the biggest game of the season, obviously. The biggest game, I guess, for the New York Giants would have to be since, I guess, Super Bowl. I mean, ever since the Super Bowl, obviously the Super Bowl was bigger, but, So, I mean, this is the 2022 season. The Giants won in 2011. So this is the biggest game for the New York Giants in 11 years. All right, so it's a big one. And it's not like the Giants on the road against Carolina, or the New Orleans Saints are coming to town, or, I mean, that would be a big game, especially if it's a divisional game. It'd be a big game without question. But this is, on the road against the Eagles. Now, I mean, only the top two would be the Eagles and the Cowboys. Those would be the top of the top. I mean, if we had to play the Redskins, okay, that would be up there too. But the Eagles and the Cowboys are the top two. One's 1A, one's 1B, however you want to put them, okay? But not only that, but we're on the road, and not only that, but the Eagles are the number one seed, and as well they should be, without question, but possibly throughout the whole league, without question. They're probably the most well-balanced team throughout the league. I mean, like the Chiefs have some good parts to them, without question. The Bills have some good parts to them. The Bengals have some good parts. I mean, you could certainly make a case maybe for the 49ers being all around, but I mean, now they got, the third string quarterback in there, but I'm just saying the Eagles, I mean, Miles Sanders, very good running back, without question. Jalen Hurts, very good quarterback, without question. I'm not saying Sanders is the best running back. I'm not saying Hurts is the best quarterback. Dallas Goedert, very good tight end. I'm not saying he's the best. Very good. Their offensive line, okay, across the board, might be the best. I believe they have 2 Hall of Famers between Kelsey and Lane Johnson. I think they got 2 Hall of Famers. And if you go back a couple of years when Peters was on there, possibly they have maybe 3 Hall of Fame offensive linemen. Okay. Yeah. I mean, their offensive line is just phenomenal. Then we can't forget about DeVonta Smith and Brown. You can certainly argue that Jefferson might be the best wide receiver in the league, but I mean, you got to throw, Smith up, in whatever you want to do, the top 15 or 20, whatever you want to. Brown, dude's a freaking beast, right? I mean, so there's no weaknesses on the offense, okay? Then you go to the defensive side, okay? The defensive is not maybe quite as all around well balanced as the offense is, okay. But I mean, their defensive front is just phenomenal. Okay, they got guys, a ton of guys they can bring off the bench. They obviously the first team in NFL history to have 4 guys with double-digit sacks. Okay, you got to start also they also maybe set the came close to setting the record as far as sacks in the season, but you got to start, when you start adding more games on, you're going to start breaking records. I mean, if you start playing like 30 games in a season, you're going to start breaking records from teams that played 14 games. I mean, it's just the common sense. But regardless, I mean, their defensive front is just phenomenal. And then you got Bradbury, right, and Slay. Now, the one thing that always just kind of gets me is if we never sign Golladay, right? Just think of how good our defense could be. If we never signed Golladay, and I was happy when we got Golladay. I'll be the first one to raise my hand when we got him. Oh yeah, we got Gettleman, got him. I'm like, all right, I mean, not so much he was going to be a phenomenal receiver, but I mean, the 50-50 balls down the field. He led the league in touchdown receptions. He had over 1,000 yards receiving on the Lions. The Lions are not a juggernaut in the past. This year, phenomenal job. Campbell, their coach, phenomenal. Absolutely. With Goff, phenomenal job. Well, and they traded away Hawkinson. But anyway, enough for the Lions. But once again, the Lions did a phenomenal job. But I mean, if we never traded and we never got Golladay, if we kept that money, right, and we had some extra money, left over for a salary cap, we could have afforded to cap Bradbury. Now, could you imagine if we had Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, like Love and McKinney, and then the rest of the guys? And if we had Bradbury, and if they didn't, could you imagine? All right, if we had our two cornerbacks like they do, I mean, we got no question. Our guys have you go through a lot of unsung heroes without question. McLeod and Flott and Darnay Holmes. You can go on. A lot of guys, obviously Adoree Jackson, but when Adoree Jackson wasn't in there, we had a lot of guys holding the fort down. So we had a lot of Fabian. I know it's Fabian. I just like saying Fabian. Moreau. I mean, we got guys off the scrap heap. They're coming in and not shutting guys down. We're not shutting guys down. But I mean, we're doing a good enough job where we're able to win games now. And this is without, elite cornerbacks. We got Adoree Jackson, right? But we have some adequate guys. But, if we never signed Golladay, we could have saved some money, maybe had a little bit of cap space left over. Maybe we could have kept Bradbury. And then, now I'll tell you what, the things would have been a lot nicer. But anyway, going back to the Eagles, right? I mean, just overall, I mean, they have a very good, I think they had 17 interceptions. I think they had 22 fumble recoveries, I believe it was. I mean, very opportunistic, right? They get after the quarterback. They create a lot of havoc. And the problem for a lot of teams, okay, is that you have Bradbury and Slay, okay, controlling maybe wide receiver 1, maybe wide receiver 2 from the other team, So if you want to try to shake them loose and whatever, try to send them deep in this, well, there's some possibilities there. But now the problem that you're going to run into is that front wall. The Eagles getting pressure on you, right? Sometimes you only have so much time, to throw the ball. So it's almost like pick your poison, right? You want to try to throw something short where you don't get sacked. Okay, which is, I mean, you could go a whole game without getting sacked. Sure, you just take 2 steps back and just, fire. I mean, you might throw some interceptions and this, that, and the other thing, but you won't get sacked. Okay, so you can certainly eliminate the sacks. It just, at what cost would it want to bam? But then if you want to take your shots, you need time. And against that front four of the Eagles, you don't have time, right? So, so I mean, without question, the Eagles overall, throughout the whole season. I said there might be better teams out. I mean, you can maybe say the Chiefs might be a better team, or maybe the 49ers. But I'm just saying, overall, I think the Eagles from A to Z, I think, are all better put together than maybe even the 49ers or the Chiefs or maybe the Bills. The Eagles. But I mean, the Eagles. This is kind of like they're kind of like pushing all the chips into the center of the table, because they're going to start being some guys in there that are going to start wanting to get paid, right? Like, I mean, some of the guys like Kelsey and Johnson, these guys are getting up in age. He's a phenomenal lineman. But, they're somewhere along the line, they're going to start retiring. Hurts is going to want to get paid, right? And see, he's making like $2 million a year, $3 million a year. So somewhere along the line, he's going to want 40 to 50. So once he starts getting want 40 to 50, bye-bye to some of these other guys. I don't think they can keep Bradbury next year, right? So some of these guys are going to start disappearing off the Eagles roster, right? So the Eagles are not going to be like, they won't be able to get Sue in there and Linville Joseph and all these other guys, because a lot of these guys want to make some money, right? And the Eagles ain't going to be able to pay them. So, the Eagles have 2 first-round draft picks, I think, this year. And one is number 10, and then the other one is wherever the Eagles want, because the Eagles have the Saints pick. So the Eagles pick 9. I think it's number 10. Could be wrong. But that's $3-4 million, whatever it is, for a year that they got to come up with. Plus, they got an additional, their own first rounder. So between both first round picks, unless they trade them and get out of the first round or something like that, but between the two of them, they need $5 or $6 million just to sign those guys. Then the rest of the draft class. So they're going to need at least $10 million just to sign their draft class next year, right? So I know that they're not in the best cap space, okay? So a lot of their chips are in the middle of the table, okay? So, this is, they did very well this year without question. One of the reasons why they have done so well, I mean, obviously, is the team they got, the offense and defense, but also they've been very lucky with injuries, without question. I think if you go to mangameslost.com, you need a subscription for it. I forgot what I paid, but it's a yearly subscription, mangameslost.com. The Eagles are like the 4th least injured team in the NFL. Giants are the 6th most. Okay. But I mean, you'll notice, okay, in the beginning of the season, the Eagles had like nobody injured. Nobody. All right. I think their backup water boy had like an ingrown toenail. I think that's about all they had. They had like nobody. But toward the end of the season, Johnson got hurt. Okay, Hurts, no pun intended, got hurt. Okay, and what kind of started happening? I mean, Gardner Minshew mania went in there. And, they did good against the Cowboys. They lost. Did good against the Cowboys. They had turnovers, right? That's no good. Then they came home against the Saints, and they lost. What? Gardner Minshew, I mean, I probably would have done better than Minshew. I mean, he did not look good at all. He threw a pick 6 in that game. I mean, right. Then they wound up playing against the Giants backup team, 2nd and 3rd string Giants team, and they won by 6 points. What? And it could have been even less than that because the Giants had a fake field goal. If they didn't they didn't try to fake field goal, maybe Graham Gano kicks it. Maybe the Giants lose 22-19. Right. So, the Giants needed, I think, to do that because when you can't win, right, when you're going up against a superior opponent, which the Eagles were, you got your 2nd and 3rd stringers in there going up against a very good Eagles team, 1st stringers. You got to do something to gain an extra possession or something along the lines. And that's where the onside kick came in, right? They had 2 onside kicks, but one was at the end of the game. That's where the fake field goal came in. That's why you need to do these things to try to gain an extra possession, to try to maybe score, steal some points. But I mean, if the Giants didn't do that fake field goal, say Graham Gano kick, it was like a 47-yarder or something. He certainly could have kicked that, right? I mean, it could have been 22-19. So I mean, you notice that the Eagles, right, with these injuries, they're not looking very Eagle-like, okay? Now, you could certainly say without question, I mean, Jaylen had a week off, okay? But, I mean, for a lot of what I'm hearing, he's still – I'm about 20, 25 minutes from Philadelphia, okay? I'm down here in South Jersey, right? Unfortunately, I got a little buddy Eagle fans. But a lot of what I'm hearing is, he's still a little banged up. I mean, his shoulder's not 100%. And if the Giants hit it a couple times, it's going to be even worse. He didn't look, like a phenomenal MVP candidate the last game of the season when the Giants came to town. So it's going to be very, very interesting for the Giants playing against the Eagles. Now, it's going to be interesting to see, okay, what Wink wants to try to do. Now, the first time the Eagles had like 253 yards, week 14 against the Giants. I mean, the Eagles are just running at will, average over 8 yards a carry. I mean, just ungodly pathetic. I mean, but we didn't have Leo Line in there. Okay, so a lot of their yards were up the middle where Leo the Lion was at. So that's going to be huge. Now it's going to be interesting to see a couple things, right? What do you do? All right, as far as there's 2 points I want to make up here. Right? What do you do with when it's like a passing situation? Jalen Hurts drops back the pass. What do you do? All right. Do you have somebody spying on him? Because it's going to be interesting to see as the game goes along. Are the Eagles looking to have Jalen run, or is he maybe kind of banged up and they're trying to avoid it getting even worse? Because that's his throwing shoulder, right? They don't want Minshew Mania coming in off the bench, right? They want to keep Jalen in there. So one hit to that shoulder, and he can play, but he may not be able to throw the ball anymore, okay? Which could be a problem. If you're a quarterback and you can't throw the ball, you got yourself a problem. If it was his non-throwing shoulder, he could run, take a hit, be in a lot of pain, but he can still throw the ball because it's not his throwing shoulder. But this is his throwing shoulder. Going to be interesting to see what the Eagles want to do or decide to do with Jalen, like RPOs, like he's looking, guys crashing down. Okay, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to run. Or no matter what, he's handing the ball off, right? They don't want him running. What does he do? He takes back, drops back in the pocket, surveying the field, say there's nobody open. Giants got him covered. And say there's a hole up the middle. Does he take off? Does he take a chance of getting hit? Can be interesting to see. Now, what does Wink do? Okay. Right. Say we got 4, right? Just say some, we're lucky and Azeez is actually on the field. Right. And we got Kayvon, we got Azeez, we got Sexy Dexter, and we got Leo. We got 4 guys rushing. What does he do? What does Wink do? Does he have somebody spying Jalen Hurts? Okay. Which obviously now is, will help against if Jalen takes off. Okay. Which is good. So you can't eliminate it. Jalen Hurts is too phenomenal of an athlete. Okay. To have it totally eliminate, but you can minimize the damage he can do if you got somebody spying him. If he goes this way, the guy, he just shadows him, right? If he takes off, you come up, maybe he gets a few yards, you tackle him. I guess maybe you may not want to tackle. You might want to sliding down, before you get a hit on him. The other thing is, so now you got 4. Do you have a 5th guy in there, right? Spying him. So now you got 5. You only got 11 guys. Right? They got Goddard, right? I can't remember the other wide receiver, but they got DeVonta Smith and Brown. Then there's another wide receiver who's very good too. He's very, very fast as well too. But now, if you got somebody spying, 4 guys rushing, do you send a blitzer? Okay. So which is good because then maybe you can get a hit on Jalen Hurts, maybe have him rush the pass, which is good. But now if you have 4 guys rushing, 1 guy blitzing, 1 guy, right? Spying, now you only got 5 guys out there covering, which can be a recipe for disaster, especially going up against Brown. That you're going to have all right, Adoree on A.J. Brown, one-on-one. You're going to have McKinney or somebody covering Goddard, like one-on-one. You might have the two guys maybe covering DeVonta Smith, 1 guy, short, 1 guy, deep, right? And then have another wide receiver out there. Might be one. You're asking for a lot of one-on-ones. You're asking for, for some problems. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what the Giants wind up doing. The other thing would be, which brings me to this point is who does he cover with who? I mean, does he put like maybe Adoree Jackson on DeVonta Smith and try to, keep him, his numbers down? DeVonta Smith's too good of an athlete, same thing with Brown, same thing with Goddard. They're going to get their catches no matter what. But can you minimize it? Right? You get Adoree Jackson on him, can you minimize like what he did with Jefferson? Jefferson got his catches. I think he had 7 catches. I mean, he had a bad game and he had 7 catches, right? So that's 70 on. That would be 119 receptions in a 17-game schedule. And he had a bad game, 7 receptions. What we did was we minimized his touchdown receptions and his yards. And you do the same thing with like a DeVonta Smith. He gets 5 catches, right? Because I think he had like 90 for the season, right? Once again, phenomenal season, phenomenal wide receiver, phenomenal athlete, right? But can you minimize him? Okay. So you put Adoree Jackson on, say DeVonta Smith gets 5 catches, say he gets 40 yards. Okay. So, calm him down. What do you do with Brown? AJ Brown, dude's a freaking beast, absolute beast. You put somebody, short and somebody over the top, right? Wherever he goes. Same thing with Dallas Goedert. The guy is good. He's a big, tall target. Very good, very smart at finding, the open spot. If he has to sit down, it's kind of like a Jason Witten kind of guy. Jason Witten would catch like 300 balls against it. He's the slowest guy on the field. And for some reason, the 3,000 games that Jason Witten played when he was with the Cowboys against the Giants, we can never cover him. You always look in the box score. Oh, Jason Witten had another 37 catches against us. Wow. Slowest guy in the field, and we can never cover him. And it's simply amazing. But, Goddard's very, very, very good, very intelligent. So it'd be tough to eliminate him. You maybe put one guy on him, okay, and try to maybe slow him down. So it'd be interesting to see what Wink tries to do as far as, who is he going to cover, double cover somebody? You can't double cover everybody, right? It's not like, with the Vikings, you maybe you put Adoree on Justin and you can double cover Thielen or vice versa, whatever. But you can't double cover everybody. You have to. You're going to double cover somebody. If we had maybe 2, if we had Bradbury and Adoree Jackson, you could maybe put both of them 1-on-1. Okay, and that would make so much better, as far as covering all the other guys. But we really don't wind up having that. Sup, brother? Big time. Yep. Oh yeah. Huge Giants have a chance to do this. Hi, story ride them. Oh, historic. Oh yeah. Oh, it's. Oof. Oh yeah. It's a big game. I'm down here by Philadelphia. There's a lot of buzz going on. I think the Giants are going in with a lot of confidence in this game, and the Eagles, maybe not so much confidence. The way the Eagles played the last few games of the season was not pretty. They lost to the Cowboys, lost to the Saints, and the game they had to have, they beat the Giants at home to beat the Giants' second and third stringers by 6 points. So the Eagles are, and they're a little banged, hurt. Their quarterback is throwing shoulders hurt. Lane Johnson, their phenomenal right tackle, is, he's going to play, but he's hurt. So it's going to be a heck of a dogfight. Going to be a heck of a dogfight. Oh yeah, going to be a lot of fun. From my Eagles friends, I sense their word. Yeah, Giants are filthy, confident, play hungry. Yep. Oh yeah, I think the Giants are coming, especially with that last game of the season. The Giants in Philly, right? Our backups for most part, we had our backups in there. We lost by 6 points. That gives that gives you a boost. Our starting guys. Oh yeah. They've confidence, lots of confidence, right? And also the same thing with the Eagles. They're like, we had our first stringers in. We're 13-3 or whatever. They were 13-3 at the time. We had our first stringers in. We had to win the game. They had their backups in. They barely have a winning record, and we beat them by 6 points. It's like, wow. That's a lot of psychological, A lot of it also is like once the game starts, it's, things start leveling themselves out. But, the Giants coming into this game with confidence is going to be huge, absolutely huge. And to be honest, the score doesn't show how much we had our way with the Vikings. Oh, no. Yeah. The Giants, very, very good. And the Giants could have beat the Vikings the first time. The Giants didn't have the Bellinger fumble, the Daniel Jones interception, that wiped it 6 points off the board. We had a block punt. 5 plays later, the Vikings scored a touchdown, right? So those mistakes by the Giants right there, there's like 13 points right there, right? If you take those points away, the Vikings don't kick a field goal at the end of the game because they're down by more. The game's not tied. They're not down by 3 points. To be down by like 6 or 7 points or whatever, they would have to go for a touchdown. They can't. They're not kicking a field goal. So the Giants easily could have won both games. Yeah, but they went in, and they just took care of business without question. They really took care of business. So the Giants, a lot of confidence. So it's. That's one nice thing about playing. When you take a week off, you get a little rusty. It's you kind of out of the groove a little bit. You kind of takes a little bit to get going. But the good and the thing bad with the Giants, you keep playing, your chance of getting nicked up and hurt and stuff like that. So that's not good. But when you keep playing and you keep winning and you're staying relatively healthy, because Azeez Ojulari is pretty much the only guy really nicked up. Right. And they get the confidence. The Giants are on a roll. They're on a roll. Doesn't mean they're going to win the game, but, they're going in with a lot of confidence. And, you're a young team, you're hungry and you're confident. Oh, yeah, that's a good recipe right there. Eagles haven't played a real game in 5 weeks. No, they had a bye week. My bad. I'm sorry. They had a week off for the playoffs because they're the number 1 seed. Then they played the Giants backups. Then they lost to the Saints. They lost to the Cowboys. I forgot who they played. Who did they play 5 weeks ago? Who they wound up beating? I can't remember who it was. But it's been a while since they've actually went out and actually won a game. Oh yeah, So they're not. They're not on a roll. Okay. They're kind of worried. All right. And if the Giants give them a hard time, okay, the Giants, who do you think, after that, they're going to have, if they win, the Giants give them a real hard time, then they have the 49ers or the Cowboys coming to town. And that's going to be a real challenge, especially if we wind up hitting Hurts and we get his shoulder banged up a little bit more, and he can't play real well. Because that's the next week. There's no days off, weeks off, or nothing like that. That's the next week. You got to keep playing. So the Giants can hurt Hurts, and they have to maybe put Minshew Mania in there or something like that as their quarterback. That's not good. Yeah. So they're. Oh yeah, I'm sure they're worried. Versus Buffalo, NFC 2 upsets. Dallas Giants. You like Dallas? The only thing I would like about Dallas is because my son's a Cowboy fan, unfortunately. So if the Cowboys were to win, I would be happy for him. Other than that, I'm pulling for San Francisco. I like if the Cowboys lose. Yeah. KC and Buffalo. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game. Buffalo and Cincinnati. I think Kansas City takes care of Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's Cinderella story comes to an end this weekend. I think Kansas City's too much for them. But that Buffalo-Cincinnati game should be a real good one. If Buffalo doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, okay, I think they wind up winning. But that could be a real good game between Cincinnati and Buffalo. That could be a real good one. But I think the edge rushers will wreck Niners game. Well, that's the problem. He's a rookie, So and they have like the second best pass rush in the league. The Eagles are number 1, the Cowboys are number 2. So he's going to get some pressure. So Shanahan ain't no dummy, their coach. So he obviously he realizes this and all. I'm sure he's going to draw up a game plan to try to counteract that. Right. But he's gonna have his hands full against the Cowboys, their pass rush and their defense. Oh yeah, without question. Oh yeah. Parsons and Lawrence, yeah. Yeah, so look for McCaffrey to get a lot of quick stuff out of the backfield or whatever, a little quick, maybe Deebo Samuels, maybe some type of jet sweep or something like that or whatever. Look for a lot of quick stuff that Purdy's not standing in the pocket for too long, because he starts standing in the pocket too long, he's going to get engulfed by their pass rush. Yeah, because the Cowboys got a great pass rush. The 49ers have like the best defense in the league, overall defense. So that's gonna be a good game. That'd be a real good game. The 49ers and the Cowboys have had a nice history in the playoffs, going all the way back to 1970, playing each other. They played each other a lot. In 1970, 1971, they played back-to-back years for the championship game, the NFC championship game, to see who goes to the who went to the Super Bowl. The Cowboys won both of those. But I mean, going all the way back to 1970, so you're over 50 years. Cowboys and the 49ers have played each other a lot in the playoffs. Yeah, so this would be another great game, I think. Absolutely. Yes, I'm really. I mean, I really think. I think I'm probably like the Chiefs and the Jaguars might be the only kind of dud this week. I think the Giants and the Eagles should be a close game. I think the 49ers and the Cowboys can be a close game as long as Purdy doesn't like stink up the joint, maybe a lot of rookie mistakes and stuff like that. I think that can be a good game. And I think Buffalo and Cincinnati should be a good one too. Isn't it ironic? Every time the Niners are great and headed for a Super Bowl, the Giants. yeah. Well, I mean, I think we're 4-4 against them in the Super Bowl era with the playoffs. We beat them in 2011 to go to the Super Bowl. We beat them in 1990 to go to the Super Bowl. Let's see, we beat them in 86. That wasn't the championship game, but we beat them in 86. And then the next week, we beat the Redskins. We went to the Super Bowl. And then we beat the 49ers in 1985 in the wild card game. We beat them in Giants Stadium 17-3. The Giants didn't go to the Super Bowl that year, but the Giants beaten them 4 times. 3 out of the 4 times the Giants have beaten the 49ers, the Giants wound up going to the Super Bowl. And we won the Super Bowl every time. So every time we've beaten the 49ers in the playoffs and we went to the Super Bowl, we wound up winning. So, and then, 86, 90, and 2011. And we beat them in 1985, too. We beat them 17-3 at Giants Stadium. Defense just bitch slapped them. But the Giants the next week went to Chicago, and we lost 21-0 to the Bears. So, but in 86, we beat them 49-3. We beat one of possibly the greatest championship games of all time, NFC championship games, 1990, Giants 15-13. Giants kicked 5 field goals. The last 5th field goal was as time expired to beat them. The 49ers won the last 2 Super Bowls, 88 and 89, and won the last 2, right? And Pat Summerall was calling the game, and as Matt Barr kicked the field goal, he said, "There will be no three-peat." And the Giants were freaking out and everything, 15-13, great game. And then the game in 2011, that championship game, overtime, I mean, that was a phenomenal game, too. What a game that was. Oh, yeah, the Giants and the 49ers played some good playoff games, but they haven't played each other since 2011 because the Giants have only been in the playoffs 1 time since 2011. But it's a moot point if the 49ers don't win or if the Giants don't win. So it's a moot point. Beat him in 86. Yep. Yeah, Jim Burt hit Joe Montana, knocked Joe Montana out of the game. The pass was short. I think it looked like it was supposed to go to Jerry Rice because behind Lawrence Taylor was Jerry Rice. The ball went short. And Lawrence Taylor picked it off, ran down the sideline, went in for a touchdown. Jerry Rice caught a slant pattern. I think it was like in the first quarter. It might have been the first drive of the game or so. Joe Montana hit him. Jerry Rice caught the ball. He's running with the ball. He was going to score a touchdown. None of the Giants behind him were going to catch him. So Jerry Rice is running with the ball. The ball comes out of his hand. He's around the 20-yard line, the 15-yard line. For some reason, he's running, the ball pops out of his hand. The Giants recovered it. So if he didn't do that, it would have been 49-10. The Giants still would have killed him. But, I mean, the 49ers should have scored a touchdown. But this Giants still would have killed him, absolutely killed him. Marshall broke. Oh, yeah. Back, yep. End of Montana career. Oh, yeah, because Montana missed the whole next season, right, because of the injuries and everything. Then he got traded to the I don't know if he got traded or he was a free agent, exactly how it worked out, but then he went to the Chiefs. Yeah, that's where he finished his career with the Chiefs. Montana came back 2 years later in Kansas City. Yeah, yep. Oh, yeah. And actually, I think that year, the Chiefs and the 49ers played each other. I think it was a Monday night game, and it was a good game, good game. And the Chiefs wound up winning. Montana won. Wound up beating Young. Yeah. But that was pretty. That was great. That was a great game. 1990 championship game. Whew. Absolutely phenomenal game. I'll never forget that one. I mean, not scoring a touchdown. And the Giants played the 49ers in 1990 on Monday night. The Giants were 10-1. The 49ers were 10-1. So in the 12th game of the season, they played on Monday night. And the Giants lost in San Francisco 7-3. So the Giants played 2 games against the 49ers in 1990. Both of them in San Francisco. The Giants never scored a touchdown. They kicked 6 field goals in those 2 games. Thankfully, they won one of them, which wound up being the championship game. That was the greatest Monday night. Well, see, a lot of people think it was absolutely horrible because it was so low scoring. You look at 7-3, you're like, this sucks. Where's the touchdowns at? So a lot of people, an exciting Monday night game would be like 41-35, 41-38, something like that. Now that's a game, touchdowns, aerial running, scoring, kicking field goals, But this one was 7-3. It was not. The Giants had a chance to win. The Giants at the end of the game, with about 3 minutes to go, 2 minutes ago, I think it was, had the ball in 49ers territory. I guess Parcells thought they had to score a touchdown. So I think they were in field goal range. Instead of going on 4th down, they went for it. Didn't make it. They kicked the field goal. It'd be 7-6. They kicked the ball off to the 49ers. The 49ers got the ball back. 49ers had to punt the ball. Giants got the ball back with like about 30 seconds to go. Somewhere 30, 40 seconds, somewhere, I can't remember exactly. Giants got the ball back in 49ers territory again. They could have been down 7-6, just looking for a field goal. But unfortunately, because they went for it on 4th down a couple minutes earlier, they were still down by 4 points, so they needed a touchdown. If they had kicked a field goal, made it 7-6, they get the ball back, right? And they could have won the game 9-7. But it is what it is. It was a great game. After the game was over, Ronnie Lott and Phil Simms were going head to head. They're like yelling at each other and stuff. Yeah. No, that was the most intense brawl I've ever seen in the game. Simms, yeah, a lot, yeah. Told him we'll see you again. Oh, yeah, yep. And they saw him again. Oh, yeah. See, because, a lot of like back then, if there was like a couple really good teams, you kind of knew they were going to face each other in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because sometimes back then, before a lot of the free agencies and stuff like that, you had maybe a dynasty, like the 49ers, like back in the 90s, right? They had the Cowboys and the 49ers. You knew they were like the best 2 teams. You knew for the most part they were going to be facing each other in the playoffs. It was the same thing back then. The 70s, the 80s, if there was 2 really good teams, you knew they were probably going to face each other in the playoffs. Nowadays, the way it is with free agency, one year a team could be really good. They could be like whatever, 12-5. Next year, after free agency, they get a couple guys injured. They lose a bunch of guys to free agency. They have to pay their quarterbacks, and now they don't have any money. They could be 5-12. But I'm saying that. But back then, before free agency, it was a lot of times like every year. It was almost like the same teams. You can almost expect the same teams in the playoffs. So when you had 2 really good teams like that in 1990 between the Giants and the 49ers, you could probably say, yeah, they're going to face each other in the playoffs again. And they did. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Saban's reels. Yeah, but if you go back to this, I'm from the 70s, so if you go back to the 70s, the Steelers and the Raiders, that was hate. Oh, hate. Oh, yeah. They faced each other 1972, 73, 74, 75, and 76. They faced each other 5 years in a row, Steelers and the Raiders. 5 years in a row in the playoffs, they faced each other. The Raiders won twice. The Steelers won 3 times. That was hate. That was, oh, yeah. That was some tough football back then, I'll tell you. I'm from 86 on. Okay. I'm 47. Okay. I'm 58. But yeah, I first year I remember watching football was 1970. So I remember like 1972. I don't know if you ever saw the Immaculate Reception. I remember seeing that on TV. That was the Steelers against the Raiders. The Raiders were winning 7-6. Franco Harris catches the ball. The Immaculate Reception runs it in. They wind up winning 13-7. But then the next year, the Raiders and the Steelers played each other. The Raiders won in 73. The Steelers won in 74 and 75. And in 1976, the Raiders won. They beat the Steelers. And then they went to the Super Bowl and they beat the Vikings in the 76 Super Bowl. So 5 years in a row, the Raiders and the Steelers played each other in the playoffs. So that was in 74, 75, and 76, whoever wound up winning the game, those 3 years, the Steelers, 74 and 75, the Steelers won the Super Bowl. In 76, the Raiders won the Super Bowl. So, I mean, not only was some good rival, good hate and all that, but there were some good teams too, really good teams. I was in the stadium when Giants collapsed and Jackson returned. Oh my God. Ugh. Well, I saw it on TV, yeah, but I couldn't imagine being in the stadium for that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Kicks the ball right down the center of the field. I mean, the one guy in all of football, really, at that particular moment in time. I mean, you could say maybe Devin Hester or something like that, but at that one particular point in time, that one moment in time, I don't care about Devin Hester. The one guy you did not want to kick the ball to was DeSean Jackson. Kick it out of bounds, whatever you got to do. I don't care. You do whatever you do not kick it to him, and he kicked it to him. Unbelievable. I mean, the miracle I remember watching the Miracle in the Meadowlands 1, right? We lost to the Eagles and we beat them 17. It was a 19-17. I think we lost. I mean, the fumble. Pisarcik tried to hand the ball. Larry Zonka, Herm Edwards picked it up, ran in for that. So I saw that one I saw them both on TV. But yeah, Miracle in the Meadowlands 1 and 2. Oh my goodness. As soon as he punt, it was like, oh yeah. I mean, he kicks it right down the center of the field. I mean, instead of like trying to kick it maybe to one side or the other, maybe try to just kick it out of bounds. There wasn't much time. I don't remember how much time was left, but there wasn't a lot of time left. I mean, so like if he just punted it out of bounds, the Eagles might have had maybe one play left or something like, wasn't much, but just kick the ball out right down the center of the field. So now DeSean Jackson, he has this much room on this side of the field. He has this much room instead of maybe kicking it to the one side, maybe trying to, get him to the side of the field and try to, squeeze him in, try to maybe get him out of bounds or something like that. Yep. Tom might really make up for a history of the Eagles abusing us. Oh yeah. Put the hole in this season Super Bowl. Oh yeah. No, yeah. Oh yeah. That would be awesome. I mean, we haven't won there since 2013. We've lost the last 9 games there. I mean, how demoralizing is that? It's just we found all kinds of ways to lose. I mean, it's just, it's not the first time we've lost this many games in a row. It's been, but I forgot what it was. From 1973 to 1981, I believe it is. The Giants did not beat the Eagles from 73 to 81. Giants did not beat the Eagles at home. From 73 to 81, every time the Giants and the Eagles played in New York, the Eagles won. Or it was tied. 1973, they tied. 23-23. But from 74 to 81, every time the Philadelphia Eagles came into New York, the Eagles won. It was that's when I was growing up. That's why I hated the Eagles. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, the Eagles have had our number for a long time. Pretty much almost since like the turn of the century. Since around 2000, the Eagles have they scored so many more victories than the Giants have. I mean, the Eagles had a lot of good teams because you figure around 2000, the Eagles had Andy Reid, right? That was their coach. So they've had, good coaching when he was here, and then they've had a bunch of good players. The Giants have had some good wins here and there, but I mean, the Eagles have had some really good players, some good coaches, and Howie Roseman, their GM does a very good job as far as getting the talent in there. He does a very, very good job at that. So he keeps replenishing. He does very, very good. Yeah, but Gridiron, we have. Oh yeah, against since 1990. Okay, not right, not overall. I mean, not forever. It's been since 1990. Okay, because we lost the Bears in 85, so since 1990. Right, so we started with the 49ers. We beat the 49ers. 49ers were the number one seed, right? We beat them. So, since 1990, I mean, we got a lot going for it. I mean, if we get to the championship game in the Super Bowl era, the Giants have never lost a championship game. The Giants are 5-0 in the championship games. If the Giants get to the Super Bowl obviously in the Super Bowl era, Giants are 4-1 in the Super Bowl. So between the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, this is all in the Super Bowl era, okay? The Giants are 9-1. We're 6-0 against number one seed. So we got a lot of stuff going for us. But the last time we beat the number one seed was 11 years ago. You know what I mean? So, different. It was quite a few years ago. There's nobody left on that team from here, so this is, beating the Eagles is going to be tough. But, hey, I hope it keeps up. I mean, I hope it keeps up. I mean, it'd be phenomenal. Keep this ride going, baby. Keep it going. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so we'll see if it continues. Yeah, I mean, usually all good things come to an end. Yeah, I hope it don't. But hopefully we can keep it going. But even if we lose tomorrow, and if we come 6-1 against the number one seed, so that's not bad. And you got to consider, it's been a very good season for the Giants, without question. Nobody thought, I didn't think we were going to get this far. I didn't think we were going to get to the second round of the playoffs. I didn't think so. And you got to figure that next year we're going to have some salary cap money. We're going to have to resign some of our players. Got to resign some of our players. That's huge. But we might have like 11 draft picks. We have 5 of our draft picks from this last class: McKeithen, Izudu, Davidson, Wandale Robinson, and Darian Beavers. 5 guys who aren't even playing on it. So basically half our draft class is on the IR from this year. We're going to get those 5 guys back. We're going to get, we got 11 draft picks this year coming up. So what we got going on right now, okay, we're going to get 16 more guys coming in. So unfortunately, sadly, I hate this part of it. We're going to have to let some guys go. I hate that. But, we're going to have some salary cap. Maybe we can get a nice player in here. Maybe a star receiver or something like that. Maybe we can get one nice little splash in it, I said we're going to get 5 other guys back off IR from our draft class this year. 11 new picks coming in. I think we have 4 in the top 100. Okay. 4 picks in the top 100, 101, 102, somewhere around there. So, I mean, those 4 guys, because we got a first, a second, and 2/3, right? So hopefully those 4 guys can make a nice impact for the Giants, and I don't think or Kafka is going to get a job this year. I don't think, so hopefully we'll have, if not almost all of our coaches back. Obviously Dave will be back. Shane's going to be back. Okay. We'll resign Daniel Jones. Hopefully we get Saquon back, and if we can stay, knock on wood, relatively healthy next year, as I said, with some salary cap space, some new draft picks, some new blood coming in, the future's certainly looking bright for the Giants. I'm not saying we're winning the Super Bowl next year. We're going to win the Super Bowl the following. But we're certainly, going up, right? You can certainly see where good times are ahead for the Giants. Somewhat more consistent playoffs berths. And the best we have our franchise. Yeah, oh yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like you got to look at him. I think Evan Neal. I think he'll start coming around. I think his knee. I don't know if he's ever his knee got rolled up on. I don't know if he's ever totally healed up from that, but I think he'll work on his craft and he'll get better. And possibly by next season he'll get maybe a little bit better. Maybe his 3rd season he'll get better. But we got like maybe 2 franchise tackles. We got the quarterback, right? We got our 2 edge rushers, right? They're going to start costing some money, because once Andrew Thomas wants to get paid, we're going to cost some money. Keep Evan Neal around when he gets, right? Can you imagine what Kayvon's going to want? Can you imagine what Azeez Ojulari is going to want? So we got to start paying some of our own guys to keep them. Xavier McKinney. We got to sign Julian Love. Are we going to try to re-sign Darius Slayton? Hopefully we bring Sterling Shepard back. So it's going to cost us, right? But we have the foundations. You got like 2 edge rushers, you got 2 tackles, you got your franchise quarterback. So you got to figure, barring major injuries or anything like from Daniel Jones, if Dable's around here for any length of time, right? You got to figure Daniel Jones will be our quarterback for whatever. What's it, next 10 years, 10, 11, 12. It depends upon how long Dable winds up staying there. Then Shane's got to go out and try to get somebody else in here. But, having our franchise quarterback is, you got to look at it. We won a Super Bowl with Phil Simms, right? He was a very good quarterback. He's not a Patrick Mahomes, right? Not a Josh Allen. He was a very good quarterback. Daniel Jones, very good quarterback. So you can certainly win a Super Bowl with him without question. You got to get the talent around him. You got to get the wide receivers in there. You need at least one guy to scare the crap out of the other team. And the Giants don't have that. Unlike the Jets. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's huge. You got Sexy Dexy. Hopefully we extend Leonard Williams. Hopefully we can extend him because his contract, he's like $32 million, I think it is, next year. So if we extend, that's his last year. If we extend him, we can maybe take that $32 million next year and drop it down. I'm just throwing a number out there, say around maybe $20 million, so we can save $12 million, $10 million or so toward the cap next season. But Sexy Dexy, Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then you try to look, maybe we can add maybe another defensive lineman in there somewhere along the line. But yeah, and then you got Julian Love, you got Xavier McKinney. We have some nice, Cordell Flott, right? I don't know, hopefully we keep Adoree Jackson around. We could use another cornerback. If we get another really good cornerback, would be really good. But we have some good foundational pieces without question. And Daniel Bellinger, right? Isaiah Hodgins. Right? I think we found a little diamond in the rough there. I don't know if we're going to keep Richie James around. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we get Sterling Shepard back. I don't know if we're going to keep Darius Slayton. We're trying to re-sign him. Interesting to see. Hopefully we can sign Saquon. I don't know if we're going to give him like a 5-6 year deal. I don't know about that, but hopefully we re-sign him, get him. So we got a lot of foundational pieces, and you just keep adding to them. The thing is, draft them, bring them in, okay, and keep them. Because to draft these guys and 4 years later you just let them go, and then you draft somebody else and you just let them go, and you draft. That's just silly. You draft guys that you believe in, right? You develop them, you keep them, you pay them, and you just keep bringing more guys in. I know it's not that easy, but we just how many guys in the past we just we draft them, the good players, and they just let them go, right? They want Edmonds, stud middle linebacker from Buffalo. Oh, for the free agent, yeah. Well, that's our little Achilles heel right there. Oh yeah, the inside linebacker position. That's our Achilles heel. That would be phenomenal. Now, you can certainly get a good wide receiver in the draft. Doesn't have to be the first round. You can get somebody in the second round. You can certainly get somebody in the third round. I don't know how many guys are going to scare you in the third or fourth round or whatever, but you can certainly get a good wide receiver in the second round. And they can maybe double up on wide receivers. Grab maybe somebody in the second round, maybe somebody later on in the draft. We got a lot of draft picks, but getting a good. I didn't know he was a free agent. That's good. Really? He did. Shane, yeah. Tag Barkley 1 year. Yeah. From keep hearing Barkley's deal might be a tough one to try to get done. So they might have to franchise tag him. Yeah. It seems like if anything, they're going to get Daniel Jones's done. Just what I'm hearing. That's all. Seems like they'll get something done with him. They want to get something done with him before free agency starts because they don't want other teams, throwing the money out there. Hey, Daniel, he has $45 million a year sound, right? So they want to get something done with Daniel Jones before free agency starts, but maybe tag Saquon. Yeah. That's cool. But that would be nice. And that's I'm saying the beauty of that, okay, with Edmonds from Buffalo is he knows Shane, he knows Dable. right? Not that, if he's on the defensive side, not that Dable was his coach, but he's aware of Dable. He knows what kind of a person Dable is. And obviously, if Shane got him there and all, everything, that would be fantastic. Because that's the one Giants really Achilles heel. The middle of the field, the middle linebacker, the inside linebacker position. You put a lot of guys in there. I mean, Jaylen Smith, he's done a very adequate job, right? Especially what you're paying these guys. Micah McFadden's done an adequate job. I think we've had Carter Coughlin in there, just some of the other guys. Tay Crowder, because now he's on another team now, or not now, the season's over with, but it's been a weak spot. And a lot of it is that's one of the problems why we're having problems with the run defense is two of them. It's kind of like sometimes we don't set the edges, let the guys run around the outside. Like Kayvon comes crashing down. He thinks that the running back has the ball. He comes crashing down, and meanwhile the quarterback keeps the ball and runs around the outside. So sometimes we don't set the edge, right? But a lot of times, like when the runs are up the middle, and they get to the second level, well, that's where the Sexy Dexy's taking on a couple blockers, or maybe Leonard Williams might have a blocker on him, something like that. Well, when it gets to the second level, those the inside linebackers gotta break. They can't get engulfed by a block, and that's all too much has been happening. Especially like maybe if you have some smaller guys, they have a hard time breaking loose from a block. If a guard or somebody gets to the second level, so then if they get past the first level and the inside linebackers can't get off their blocks, well, I guess the guys get to the third level, and they're picking up a lot of running yards. And the Giants have had a very bad. I mean, it is what it is, but the Giants have had a very rough season as far as trying to stop the run. So they've done a couple good jobs. They've done good against the Vikings, right? And they did pretty good the last time they played the Eagles too. But the last time they played the Eagles, Jalen Hurts really didn't run because of his shoulder. So we're going to be interested to see what does he do, right? Now they got Davis playing linebacker. Yeah, Davis. Yeah, Oh, yeah. Jones, 4 years, 20. Well, it's what, $30 million a year? And he might get a little bit more than that. It'd be interesting to say. Tag Barkley at Jazz 4. That's $30 million. Now they got Davis playing. Yeah, Davis, right? But but he's off for the practice squad, So I mean, if we can get somebody in there, you get like one good, nice stud in there, right? That can make all the difference. Oh my God, it's been over an hour. Well, my man, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. It's wonderful talking to somebody. And if somebody gave me a thumbs up, thank you. I've been here for over an hour. Going to give you my prediction. If anybody's watching this long and all. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but unfortunately, I have the Giants season coming to an end tomorrow. I said, once again, hope I'm wrong. I got the Eagles like 28-21, something like that. I think the Eagles unless Hurts is really hurt and it really affects his game, okay? If that's the case, we might have a different outcome. But if Hurts, if he's able to run, if he's able to throw, right, it's going to present a problem with the Giants. The Giants going to have a hard time. So I got the Eagles winning. I think they're an overall better team. I'm pulling for the Giants, and I'll be thrilled to death if they wind up winning. But I got the Eagles beating the Giants like 28-21, 28-23, something like that. Unfortunately, so as I said, hope I'm wrong. But it's been at 1 hour and 3 minutes. I think this is the most I've ever talked in my life. Anybody spent any time watching this, I got a thumbs up. Thank you to all the comments. Thank you. If anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Let's bring home a victory, baby. Oh, yeah.